Spurs foul. Should Miami go for the three right away? Just attack the basket. James catches, puts up a three. Won't go. Rebound Bosh. Back out to Allen. His three-pointer. Bang! Tie game with 5 seconds remaining.
Welcome to the Ultimate Super Coach and Fantasy Sports Show. You are now listening to the Insight Fantasy Sports Podcast.
Boom shakalaka!
Hello and welcome to an Inside NBA emergency podcast. I've just woken up. It is about 5:55 a.m. here in Australia, and Damian Lillard has been traded to the Milwaukee Bucks. So here it's just going to be a very short little chat because I have a real job. It's going to be a short little chat about, I suppose, fantasy implications. Damian Lillard is going to be on a much better team in Milwaukee. So what he's going to be doing is playing on a championship contender, which is what he wanted all along. I suppose he did want to go to Miami. He didn't get exactly what he wanted, but his tweet indicates that he will be happy and at least play in Milwaukee. Having a look at the Milwaukee team, they were a team that have people like Giannis, people like Brook Lopez, people like Chris Middleton, very fantasy relevant players. What does Damian Lillard come in instead of a Drew Holiday? Drew Holiday is going to the Blazers as part of this trade. I don't expect him to stay there. I think that he'll be moved on for young pieces or picks. But I suppose that's sort of the straight swap. They have lost people like Grayson Allen and some, I suppose, some picks, which don't, I suppose, affect Lillard on the court. This slides Lillard down a little bit for me. I had him in and around that 11 range. I'm wondering if he's more like that sort of 15 range, which doesn't affect it too much. I just might take some of those, those LaMelos that are sitting on the board in and around that 12 and those range. Maybe I'm just a little bit higher on those. I still think he's going to be able to get his shots up. Maybe what it does affect is a few blokes like Chris Middleton. He was always poised to jack up a lot of shots this year. Maybe he just doesn't take as many. Maybe his shots that he's taking are a little bit higher quality. Damian Lillard being a lot worse defender than Drew Holiday, but a lot better shooter, a lot better. He's a great passer as well. So, maybe Chris Middleton gets those higher quality shots and maybe expect him to be, I have sort of seen him in the last couple drafts going in and around that late 70s, early 80s. Maybe he just gets bumped down to 90 on my board. Giannis, I was always pretty high on him. I've had him in the top 10 where others probably have not. I think this affects him negatively. I don't think he is going to be as much. He's still going to be a focal point. He's Giannis Antetokounmpo. But I'm just a little bit worried that now he gets a few less shots because Lillard takes a lot of shots. Like he's taken 2,500 shots nearly in his career, threes. So it'll help him stretch the floor a little bit, but he is going to be taking a lot of shots, and Giannis probably isn't going to get as many points. Still going to be good on the boards. Lopez still is going to play out at that wing. Lopez is still going to be out, not getting too many rebounds. So Giannis is still going to be inside. He's still going to get some high quality looks. He's still going to get fouled a lot, which is not really a positive thing for fantasy. But Giannis, Giannis gets bumped down a little bit. Again, maybe just those 5 sort of spots. I still plan on taking him before like a Donovan Mitchell, but I will probably take him just before a Damian Lillard. So with the Blazers, there was a third team that come into this trade, and that was the Phoenix Suns. DeAndre Ayton was getting taken in and around those late 50s in drafts that I've been a part of. Playing for the Blazers, I think that he's going to get a lot more ball. He kind of instantly becomes, dare I say, a little bit of a veteran presence. Jeremy Grant is going to I suppose, be the old head, the level head out there. But yeah, I really like it for him. I would indicate that I might take him top 50. I don't love Ayton's fantasy game, but I think it's a risk I'm willing to take coming, I suppose, on a Blazers team here. The Blazers also received a first round, the Bucks 2029 first round pick, swap rights to the Bucks 2028 and 2030 picks. The Phoenix Suns have received Yusuf Nurkic, which I've been taking Yusuf Nurkic in and around those 110 in drafts and absolutely loving the value there. I was thinking he was going to get a lot of ball in Portland. He might get a little bit less ball in the Suns, but he is going to get some quality ball. He is going to be playing a lot of minutes. He is going to be the starting center. I think he will now be taken in the top 100. Do I think that's great value? I don't actually think it moves the needle much for Yusuf Nurkic. The concern is always going to be his injury history. It's going to be whether he can stay on the court. And if he's on the court, I think he's going to be producing much the same as what we've seen other years. Like, this is a guy that's been a top 50 guy, and now he's getting taken outside of the top 100. So it's not that bad, but I just think he's going to be on a lot of other people's radars now. And I can just find really smart fantasy players maybe just not having their claws in Yusuf Nurkic. Grayson Allen, I'm actually a little bit excited about, because Grayson Allen could be that. We've always talked about who's going to be that fifth guy. So you've got Booker there, you've got Beal, you've got Durant, and you've got Yusuf Nurkic now. I presume that they're all going to be starting. That third spot could be Grayson Allen or Nasir Little, depending if you want that offense or defense. Grayson Allen has played some good minutes in the last few years, and call it a homer because I am a Grizzlies fan. I've really, not hated watching Grayson Allen over the years. He can still fill it up. He is a streaky shooter, can handle the ball a little bit, has a little bit of dog in him. He's a little bit of a grub, but that doesn't affect fantasy. He can just get out there. And I think he's just going to knock down shots. I think he's going to be open with those other guys. Like, are you going to focus on Grayson Allen when Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, and Kevin Durant are on the court? Of course you're not. He's probably going to be defended by the fourth worst defender on the court. So Grayson Allen's stocks come up. I think that he becomes 12-team relevant now. Nasir Little, we're going to be watching maybe that first game and seeing, I suppose, who gets that starting nod. But that's sort of the offense defense there, isn't it? Nasir Little could be. I'm going to put him in my watch list. Maybe watch the first Suns game, see how the minutes go out, and Nasir Little can ball. He is going to be a guy there. Who won the trade here? Well, it's hard to know. Damian Lillard won the trade. Damian Lillard is going to be happy. If happiness was a spot on your team, in your fantasy comps, and it was a category, Damian Lillard wins it. He's going to be happy. He's going to be playing. I haven't really seen the Bucks rest people or anything like that before. So I'm excited to see what they do with Damian Lillard. Hopefully he plays like he's not going to get shut down like he has in other years, because they're bad and they're going, to try and pick up guys like Scoot Henderson in the draft. Look, Damian Lillard will be out there, will be playing, and we're going to be seeing him playing some playoff basketball. I've got him around 15. I've got Ayton just into the 50s, probably 48 or so. I've got Drew Holiday moving down my board, but that is going to be dependent on where he ends up. I think a contender could still snavel him up for a couple picks there. Yusuf Nurkic, I've got him moving up in my board. Grayson Allen, I've got him moving up on my board. And I've got Nasir Little at least into relevance for me, just a tiny bit. I suppose that wraps it up. I've only had a short amount of time, I suppose, to digest it. We'll have a little bit more of a chat about it tonight. But again, Damian Lillard is a Milwaukee Buck. Cheerio.